Today's lesson would be over perimeter and area. It goes along with the Common Core standards of find the area of right triangles, other triangles, special quadrilaterals, and polygons by composing into rectangles or decomposing into triangles and other shapes. Apply these techniques in the context of solving real-world and mathematical problems. One of the learning targets is going to be review and develop justify formulas for triangles and parallelograms. And then the new thing they're going to learn is recognize and know how to compose and decompose polygons into triangles and rectangles. The learning targets are, I can understand the formulas for finding area and perimeter of triangles and parallelograms. And it is also, I can use the formulas of triangles and parallelograms to find the perimeter and area of irregular shapes. I would start off by explaining to students. Students would probably have like a guided notes or something to go along with this. Or sometimes I also like to make a foldable. Students really enjoy to do that because it's like a fun way to also take notes. I would explain the definitions to know and explain that length is the distance and how far from one end from one point to another. Width is the distance from side to side. Height is the vertical distance from top to bottom. Perpendicular height is the height measured perpendicular from the base to the vertex of the top. And base is the surface of a solid object stands on, or the line of a shape such as a triangle. I would show that the triangle formula, again, they would have guided notes or some kind of foldable. I would explain that the area formula for triangle is 1/2 times base times height. So it would be 4 times 5, which is 20 divided by 2, which is 10. A rectangle's length is area is length times width. So you would do 8 times 5, and I would explain this to the students, and then explain 8 times 5 is 40. So that was the answer. I would explain that the perimeter of a rectangle / square is perimeter equals length plus width plus length plus width. So it would be 8 plus 8 plus 5 plus 5, and that would equal 26. I would also explain that the area of a triangle is A plus B plus C. So it would be 4 plus 6, which is 10, plus 5, which is 15. The next shape we would learn about would be the trapezoid. And again, some kind of guided notes are foldable, so they are able to take notes, and we would do the example on the board of the problem through the PowerPoint. And the area of a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2, so 5 plus 7, which equals 12, divided by 2, which is 6, times the height of 8. And then we know that the perimeter of a trapezoid is A plus B plus C plus D. So it would be 6 plus 6 was 12, plus 7, which is 19, equals 24 centimeters, and that would be the perimeter. And just something to remind the students is when they do areas that all numbers should be squared, and then the next thing we would learn about is the area of a parallelogram. Area of a parallelogram is base times perpendicular height, so it would be 4 times 5 centimeters, and it would be 20 centimeters squared. The perimeter of a parallelogram would be described as length plus width plus width, and that would be 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5, which is 18. After students have been refreshed and know the area formulas, this is where we're going to build on it. We're going to do a word problem first and explain explain a word problem as a class. Students would do this on their own, probably have whiteboards or something like that. And the word problem is Lisa's bedroom is 6 meters long and 4.5 meters wide. How much carpet will Lisa need to cover the floor of her bedroom? And so students will do this on their own. They'll raise their whiteboards up all at once, and they'll see and then we'll do it as a class on the board. And then we would do another one, and it says Jack wants to run around his rectangle patio for exercise. The patio has a length of 45 feet and width of 65 feet. How far does Jack run if he does one lap around the patio? And so your students would have to register if it's area or perimeter. And again, they would do the whiteboard activity. They would hold it up. And that way students can kind of figure it out on their own and then see if it's correct or not and see if they need more help. The next thing I would do is now we're going to build on from learning the typical area and perimeter and build on by using multiple shapes into creating one large shape and find the area and perimeter of each of those shapes. I would explain this through a little storyline. And it's called perimeter and Adam area, and I'll explain the story and like have students kind of follow along as we go and explain that I'll read the story to everyone. Peter Perimeter and Adam Area were born in Ohio. Their parents are about to move them to the jungle because they are scientists who study animals. The boys are super nervous about moving to the jungle and leaving all of their friends. Their parents told them that they can pick the size and theme of the room. Peter and Adam are now super excited to go to the jungle. Adam wants a NASCAR theme, 12 feet by 14 feet room. Peter wants an NBA theme, 13 foot by 16 foot room. Their mom told them that the only rule is that they must share a bathroom and it must be 10 feet by 7 feet between the two rooms. The boys decide that they want to put tile on their floor instead of carpet so it is easier to clean up from the jungle. Their moms ask the boys to find the total area of their room and bathroom so they can pre-order the tile for their new room. Peter knows that the area is the amount of space that is taken up, and to find area, he must multiply length times width. Adam uses the same formula as Peter and multiplies the length of room by the width of his room. The boys decide to work together on finding the area of their bathroom. Peter says that they must multiply 10 feet by 7 feet. Adam agrees and they figure out the total area of the bathroom is 70 feet squared. Adam decides to add up all the rooms in order to figure out the total area of the rooms. Peter is so excited to tell his mom that he will need to order 446 feet squared, and now the boys cannot wait to go to their new homes and new rooms. After that, I would let the students, probably on an iPad lab or something like that, go to this website called iExcel, which is like a fun little math game, and I think students would really enjoy it because it will be, not only will they be like on a technology, it's kind of fun, and they can check themselves as they go. And this is like an example of one of the things they could do, and where students would have to build on from like figuring out the area of one side to the area of another side and different things like that. And after they got problems with that, I'd have like a fun little activity where students would be able to create their own kind of storyline like I did. And this is where I would have students have a piece of paper and they would fold the paper into like different squares, and then they would have like a comic strip type thing, and they would have a word problem they would do. And one side would be an area word problem, and the other side would be a perimeter word problem. And they would create a storyline and go along with it. And then at the end of class, as their exit slip, someone else would answer their questions from their comic strip. So students are having fun. If students really love to be visual learners, they can make their comic strip really detailed and different things like that. And that's how I would teach area and perimeter to 6th grade students.